Hey there, this is Todd with Industrial Comfort, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a cutting board like this one. This board happens to be made from elm, walnut, and oak, and what I love about cutting boards is they make wonderful gifts. They're very easy to make, and you can generally make them from extra wood that you've got laying around in the shop. Let me show you how to make one. It's time for us to glue these boards up, and if there's one point that I want you to watch in the video, it's right now, because we're going to talk about the grain orientation before we glue these things up. I want you to notice the end grain here and the growth rings and their orientation. You'll notice that they're all pointing in the same direction. Now, wood will tend to bend, warp, cup, etc. based on the orientation of these growth rings. So you want to make sure that you are alternating how these are positioned so that they're opposing. Okay, you want to do this for the entire board, and you'll see here what I've done is I flip it so the grain orientation for the growth rings goes this way, then this way, then this way, and so on and so forth, and we'll do that for all these boards. The glue has had overnight to set up, so we're going to remove the cutting board from the clamps, and I'm going to use this chisel to knock down any dry glue underneath before we begin the flattening process. Now, there are two ways that we can flatten this board, one of which is using a straight edge and a pencil to mark the high spots and then knock it down with a sander, or we can use a planer, which is what I'm going to do. Before we give this cutting board its final sand and finish, I want to give you a really helpful hint. So I've sanded to 180 grit. I'm now going to wet the cutting board, and wetting the cutting board is actually going to raise the grain. Then what we're going to do is knock it down again and sand up to about 400 to 600 grit. And that's going to give it a super silky smooth finish. To finish off this cutting board, I'm going to apply some walnut oil, which is food safe. And the reason I'm using walnut oil instead of mineral oil is mineral oil technically never dries, as opposed to walnut oil, which will penetrate and dry, which provides for a better protective barrier.